Match day 4 in Group F today as the sides that met just 3 days ago go head-to-head once more. Defending champions Ulsan Hyundai from Korea Republic are the first up against competition newcomers FC-Iloilo from the Philippines. We're at the Pathum Thani Stadium in Bangkok. Well, Ulsan have been flawless in their matches so far. Top of the table, 3 wins out of 3, no goals conceded. Kaya prop up the table. They did score once in their opening game, but that's all they've had to show for their efforts so far. BG Pathum United and Vital both still in with a chance of going through. They play each other later. It is just the top team that is automatically guaranteed a place in the knockout rounds. Very hot again. Temperatures have been up in the mid to late 30s across the weekend in the various venues in Thailand. 35 degrees today. A little bit of cloud around, but energy sapping once more. Pitch looking immaculate here. We really have done a great job with the rain that we had last week to get the pitches back in top condition. And this, of course, the home of BG Pathum United, will be in action a little bit later on this afternoon. Familiar surroundings for them. But this is all about trying to give yourselves a chance of going through. If Ulsan could win today, 12 points, you would feel that even if they don't win the group, that would certainly be enough to send them through as one of the best second-place sides. So 2 sides went through with 10 points from the Western section, and it is sides from Japan and Korea that top all 5 groups at the moment in this East section. The East have been so successful with more victories along the 40 editions of this competition. Coach Hong Myong-bo, first season in charge for Ulsan, and Graham Harvey, the man in charge of Kaya, the man appointed just a couple of weeks before this competition got underway. He was more pleased with his side in the last match, despite the fact they lost by 3-0. They were beaten heavily by Vital from Vietnam by 5-0. It was a real rout, having conceded 4 against BG Pathum United in their first game. 12 goals conceded in 3 matches so far for the side for the Philippines, and they still look for their first point. Ulsan, as we say, haven't conceded a goal. They're on a run of 12 consecutive wins, a run set by themselves when they won 11 a few years ago. And every win increases that record, and we just wonder when someone will get close to that. Ulsan are currently top of the K-League. Kaya haven't played much football in the last 18 months because of the coronavirus pandemic. Their league season comprised just 5 games this season. They did finish second in that league, Kaya, behind United City FC, who were also playing in this competition. Kaya had to come through that playoff against Shanghai Port a couple of weeks ago. Single goal win, enough to put them through. Adi Menzi with the goal in that game. First time we've had Philippine sides in the group stages. And as we said, we'll see BG Pathum United later, one of 4 Thailand teams. The first time we've had more than 2 teams from Thailand in the group stages as well. The dates have been announced today for the knockout rounds. The quarter-finals, semi-finals and final will be played just 1 leg this year rather than the normal 2. And also the preliminaries, the playoffs and the group stage dates have all been announced for the East and West section for next season. But there's still a long way to go in this campaign. We still await 8 teams going through to join the 8 teams from the Western section that booked their places back in April. One side is already through, Nagoya Grampus, their victory yesterday, taking them on to 5 wins out of 5, 15 points. They have an unassailable lead at the top of Group G. So they can rest easy for their last game. They know that they're already in the knockout stages. The defending champions would take a massive step towards that as well if they could pick up a 4th win out of 4 today. The groups are slightly out of sync in terms of match days. Group G got underway on the 22nd of June. The group started on the Thursday after the playoff game was played on that middle Wednesday. And this is the reverse fixture, of course. These sides met just 3 days ago. Still be fresh in the mind. Teams arrived at the stadium a couple of hours ago. They have to go through the health protocols now, of course, temperature checks and social distancing. But the tournament has been run in a very safe and secure manner. And it's nice to have top quality football back on the table, albeit without any spectators here in Thailand at the moment. Here come the 2 teams then. KOR in their yellow, Ulsan Hyundai in their usual dark blue and light blue stripes. Very good side at his disposal, Hong Myong-bo, but he has made changes today, as we'll see in just a moment when we confirm the team news for you. They've got the best defensive record in the K-League at the moment as well. And KOR will need to be at their very best if they are to try and get anything from this game. Graham Harvey is confident they can pick up points before the end of the campaign. We've still got BG Pattern United and Vital to come. But if they can frustrate Ulsan today, who knows what could happen. Let's take a look at the teams then. Hong Myong-bo makes 9 changes to his starting lineup today. Only Lim Yong-yun and Kim Min-jun remain from the reverse fixture against KOR 3 days ago. There are first appearances for keeper Jo Soo-huk and defender Bae Jae-woo. Lucas Hinterseer started against BG Pattern United on match day 2. He gets a start and looks to add to the 2 goals that he's scored already. Captain Hyung Min is on a yellow card. Referees Omar Al-Yakubi from Oman, just his 2nd in the competition today. He's been the 4th official on 3 occasions. All his games so far have been in Group G. Well, KOR coach Graham Harvey makes 2 changes to his side, 1 enforced as Marwin Angeles is suspended. Zach Banzen replaces Louis Casas in goal. Japanese midfielder Amura Manasari comes in for Angeles, who'd scored KOR's only goal so far. Kenshiro Daniels looked lively in the last match and had a few chances. He could be the main threat to Ulsan's clean sheet record this evening. Bedik, the captain, will play on a more wider role on the left-hand side to start the game. Dave Baltis, who'd started every game so far, one of those dropping down to the bench today as Ulsan make changes. Louis Casas also among the substitutes for KOR. Only 8 players on the bench, 7 outfield players for KOR today. They have got one of the smaller squads in this competition. Of course, teams could announce squads of up to 30 players. So an increase from the usual 25. 1 or 2 coaches still saying that even with the conditions that's still too big. Difficult to try and keep everybody happy, of course. You can only have 10 substitutes on the bench, so you are still having 9 players that aren't featuring in the matches. So it is the first of our double-header then today in Group F. KOR FC, or FC KOR, sorry, from the Philippines, will get us underway in yellow. Ulsan Hyundai, the defending champions, who beat Persepolis 2-1 in the final in Qatar last year. What can they do here? All the changes today, a chance for some of the fringe players to stake a claim. most of the players have featured off the bench. There are just two in the side that haven't. The goalkeeper, Soo Huck, and right back, Jae Woo. He's In-sung. Straight to the byline, hooked away by De Bruyke. Very successful as an international. Home Young Bo was part of that career side in 2002 when they finished 4th in the World Cup. Was coach of the 2012 Olympic team as well, who won a first medal in the London Games, a bronze medal. Did have a spell in charge of the national team, preparing them for the 2014 World Cup. 2 defeats in a draw, though he resigned his position and has been at Ulsan now since December last year. Here's Jae Woo. Away by Rutter. Graham Harvey, born in Watford in England, just north of London. Had a little bit of time to work with his players now, having come in quite late. He's got Yu Hoshida, and Coach Hoshi as he's known, alongside him. Looking forward to a good performance from his team today. Youngwoo. Turn and shot from Min Jun. And Zach Banzen, the 24-year-old goalkeeper, making his debut for KOR today. Just a little bit nervous maybe on that one. Spilled it. Fortunately, he pushed it wide of the post, gone for a corner. Replacing Louis Casas in goal today. I don't think that's any reflection on the way Casas has played. He's been well beaten by some good goals from the likes of BG Pattern United, Vital and Ulsan in the first game. But it is a squad game, of course. Zach Banzen, the 24-year-old, getting his chance. Bitgarum with a corner. Keeper spilled it again, and he's bobbling around, and it's just cleared off the line. It's a nervy start from the goalkeeper. That seemed a fairly simple one. Bitgarum to re-deliver once again. And that will sail beyond Hintersea. And he's had only 4 touches in the opposition penalty area, Luke Hintersea, and scored twice. That was his 5th touch. It seemed regulation from the goalkeeper. De Bruyke, the man clearing off the line. Hintersea from Austria. Spent a couple of seasons at Hamburg before joining Ulsan. Made his debut in the Club World Cup against Tigre last season. He wasn't at the club for their AFC Champions League success. It was coach Kim Do-hoon that led Ulsan to their success in the AFC Champions League last year. That win, as we say, over Persepolis. He's just been named the coach of Lion City Sailors in Singapore. He replaced Aurelio Vidmar, who's the BG Pattern United coach. It's all wheels within wheels. In football, Aurelio Vidmar will be here later on with his BG side. Through him from Casambre. Early pressure from Ulsan. probably aware that the goalkeeper was a little bit susceptible a moment or so ago. Don't be surprised to see maybe a couple more long-range efforts. Jong-Yun. Bitgaram. Oh, missing the Georgian Vako today, who's suspended after picking up a yellow card in the first match between the sides. Away by Rutter. Some of the players will be probably glad of a rest. It's been a pretty hectic schedule for these players, games every 3 days. So the temperature has been up around the 30s for much of the competition so far, particularly warm here today, 36 degrees. Played at a sweeper back in his playing days, Hong Myung-bo. Played with Pohang Steelers, or POSCO Atoms as they were then, Kashiwa Reysol. Finished his career at LA Galaxy in the mid-2000s. Guided back to Soo Huk by Jae-woo. 2 debutants combining. It's Jong-Yun. Tentative start. Ulsan do like to build from the back. They're one of those teams that doesn't always look to boot it long from the goalkeeper. Talked a lot about central defenders playing as footballers these days rather than just defenders. Goes for the same for goalkeepers as well. Sliding challenge from Jae-woo. Gives away the free kick though. Made just 1 league appearance for Ulsan so far, having joined back in 2018. Bae Jae-woo hasn't played at all in the current season. Played back by Casambre, but just putting his partner De Bruyker under pressure. This is Hinterseer on the turn straight into the midriff of Banzon, who gathers cleanly this time. There's a hint of good fortune about both Lucas Hinterseer's goals. The first one coming against Vital when they'd frustrated Ulsan for 91 minutes before the ball hit Hinterseer and went in. There was a hint of own goal about it. It was credited to Hinterseer. Here's In-sung, away by Rutter. Now Hyung-min. Bitgaram. Min-jun. 3 players quickly around him. It's nice confidence with the way Ulsan moved the ball around. Bitgaram. Seem to be able to find a player in space. Jae-woo. Can't get a foot on the ball at the moment, Kaya. It's all Ulsan who are showing their quality by keeping possession. It's not a good ball, they're looking for In-sung. Jason here for Daniels. Had a good game in the last match, Daniels. Confident enough to run at the Ulsan defence and had a couple of long-range shots. A couple didn't hit the target, but he was a real threat in that game. The first time we've really seen him as a threat, Kenshiro Daniels. Actually born in California to an English father. It's away by Mitchell. He was in the wars a little in the last game, Carlisle Mitchell. He had treatment on more than one occasion, but he's fit to start alongside Rotter at the back today. Daniels brought down by Minjun. That'll be a free kick to Kaya. Now, what can Kaya do on the free kick? Daiso to deliver, one of 3 Japanese players in the Kaya starting lineup. Can't miss out the first man. That's a disappointing free kick, away by In-sung. Players arriving, Hinterseer racing through the centre. There's Myung-jae on the overlap. Might fall for Hinterseer. Whistle's gone though. Foul on Rotter. Now Bitgarip just turning him off the ball. Didn't really need to make that challenge. Hinterseer was looking for the loose ball to run free. Simone Rotter, who was sent off in the opening game against BG Pathum United, suspended for the 5-0 drubbing by Vital. Manasari's header, man coming in for Angeles in midfield. Another player to watch in the Kaya side is Fuji over on the far side, number 14, who has played in the Swedish 3rd tier. But he's a very creative midfielder. First couple of games he saw a lot of the ball and completed more passes than anybody on the pitch. I just need to get the ball to him. Hyung-min. Jae-woo. Missed out everybody in the middle. It was a long cross. Well read, and now Kaya to break. De Bruyke. Daiso. Heavy touch. Daniels just trying to make sure there's no back pass option to the keeper, although Soo-huk has now got the ball. Youngjun. In-sung. Young-woo. Young-yun. The captain, Hyung-min. Good ball on the overlap for Jae-woo. Just overhit it slightly. It's gone for a goal kick. Good defending from Manasari. Just flicked off Jae-woo on its way out. And Manasari coming in to replace Angeles today had started the first 2 matches. Didn't feature in the last match. Born in Aichi in Japan. He actually began playing football at the age of 10, Manasari. He liked baseball better, but chose football because it was more popular at his school, and it turned out to be a good decision for him. He's now making a living from it. Taehyun, still 0-0. Opening quarter of an hour has been fairly cagey, although Ulsan have had more of the ball. Myung-jae. Good ball across. It was Kasambre's diving header that puts the ball behind for a corner. Got that target man with Hinterseer being back in the side today, looking to get the crosses in for him. Ji-hyun and Si-hun played up front in the first match between the sides. Si-hun getting a couple of goals. The first goal coming after 12 minutes. It wasn't the start Kaya wanted. Did manage to hold out till the 40th minute. And then Vako rounded off the scoring 3 minutes into the second half, and Kaya, well, they managed to shut up shop, and a couple of chances for Daniels, threatened to reduce the deficit at one point. Here's Yong-yun. Now Hyung-min. Looking for that long ball over the top again, away by Kasambre. Was a bit of a doubt about Bitgaram in the centre for Ulsan. He picked up a knock in the last game, but has recovered enough to finish, to start rather. Plucked out of the air by Banzen, better handling. Spilled a couple of the early stages, Zach Banzen. Graham Harvey giving him his opportunity in the starting lineup today, a man who came through the youth ranks. And of course the keeper they all look up to in the Philippines is Neil Etheridge, who plays for Birmingham City in the Championship in England, an international goalkeeper. First Filipino player to play in the Premier League when he was at Cardiff City, Neil Etheridge. Louis Casas, who's on the bench, is also part of the Philippines international team as well. Manasari, Kasambre. Daniels had come deep, so it's a ball hit into no man's land. Ulsan won every game in the competition last season except their opening game back in 2020. Banzen with a good take again. And they drew their opening game against FC Tokyo. They won 5 out of 6 in the group. Beat Melbourne Victory in the round of 16, Beijing Guoan in the quarters, and Vissel Kobe after extra time in the semi-finals before beating Persepolis in the final. So they're currently on this run of 12 wins in a row. It's the first time they've won 3 games in a row in the group in their history. Looking to extend that to 4 today. This is Fuji, first real time we've seen him on the ball. Now Bedik. So unlucky through to Daniels. It was a poor touch Nice build-up from Kaya. Ball was maybe hit with a little bit too much pace from Bedic. Daniel's just failing to bring it under control, although challenge on the edge of the box. Bedic with a challenge and may have injured himself in the process, and Hyung Min will clear the ball out so he can get some treatment. It's one of those block tackles, I think, that's injured Bedic. And maybe just got his foot trodden on by Tae-hyun. No goals and no clear-cut scoring opportunities yet. Ulsan have managed 3 shots, all of them on target. None of them have found a way past Zach Banzan, although he did have those jittery moments in the first couple of minutes when he spilled the ball on a couple of occasions. Still to have a shot, Kaya. Foot in from Daiso. Yongwoo. Here's Jae-woo, little bit of space to try and pick out a cross. He's got his captain Hyung Min offering the shorter option. Halfway through the first half, still goalless. Hyung Min. Yongwoo. They did qualify as runners-up in the Philippine League last season, so that shortened league. Kaya, they were supposed to play Brisbane Roar in the preliminary round, but the Australian clubs withdrew en masse because of the travel issues. Beat Shanghai Ports in that playoff to create a little bit of history. Have played in the AFC Cup 3 times in their history. Finished second in the group back in 2016. They were beaten 7-2 on aggregate by Malaysia's Johor Darul in the round of 16. Because JDT also playing in this group stage of the Champions League this season. Jae-woo. It's down the line for Min-jun, but beats him into touch. They had a win and a couple of draws in the AFC Cup last season, Kaya, before the competition was cancelled. Disappointing. They'd hoped to progress from the group stage in the AFC Cup, but again, the COVID issues bringing that competition to a premature end. But this is a good chance. It's a good learning curve for them against teams from better associations. They'll hope to take this experience into the league and try and finish in top spot and qualify again for the next edition. Graham Harvey, the man that will now be guiding them through that league season when it resumes soon. Here's De Bruyker. Now Menzi. Fuji. Runs the ball out of play, a little clumsy. Tae-hyun. No real urgency about Ulsan at the moment. Just playing the game at their own pace. He's trying to wear down Kaya. So this heat, that's not going to be too difficult. Good ball, Jae-woo. Cut out again by De Bruyke. Myung-jae. In-sung. Yong-woo. Threading through to In-sung, could bring it under control. De Bruyke inside his own penalty area manages to gather. That was a lovely ball through for In-sung. If he'd have brought that under control, he would have had a clear sight at goal. Ulsan continuing to threaten. In by Myung-jae. Min-jun. Angle was a little bit tight for him. Rotter with a chance, takes a deflection. And Ulsan have taken the lead. Well, all the pressure coming from the Koreans. And it's a little bit fortuitous, but they all count. And Zach Banson beaten by a big deflection. And it's Ulsan Hyundai, the defending champions, that have taken the lead. But at what cost here? Well, Hintasia's shot has hit Bitgaram and sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. Now, I don't know whether Hintasia's shot was actually going in. I don't think it was. So that, to me, goes down as a Bitgaram goal. Not that he knew anything about it. Hintasia gets another decisive touch in the penalty area. No, that's going wide. That's Bitgaram's goal. Well, Hintasia is a striker. He'll try and claim it, but I think he might have a job. I think Bitgaram, who was injured before the ball hit him, he was on the ground when it hit him. Min-jun re-delivered. It is Bitgaram's goal. 27 minutes in. So the man who had an injury ahead of the game and was a little bit of doubt, Yoon Bitgaram, gets the goal, but that's unfortunate for Graham Harvey's side. You can't legislate for deflections like that. And when your luck's going against you, it's going against you. Not so for Lucas Hintasia, who has luck on his side. Kaya trading then by a goal to nil. Yoon Bitgaram with his first goal in the competition. And here come Kaya straight away. Yong-yun away. Bitgaram's back on. Started 8 of the AFC Champions League games in Doha last season. Played 90 minutes in those Club World Cup games. It's only his second appearance here. The 31-year-old. 3 goals in the league this season. Now he has an AFC Champions League goal to celebrate as well. Yong-yun. Myung-jae. In-sung. Min-jun. Jae-woo. Reminder, Ulsan haven't conceded a goal in their 3 matches so far. Good ball down the line for Jae-woo. Away by Rotter. Nodded back by Hyung-min. High challenge by Min-jun, which has been penalised. Oh, it's a red card. The Korean's been sent off. Well, it looked a fairly innocuous challenge, but Hong Myung-bo's side are down to 10 men. Well, it's a high challenge. He's caught him on the side of the head. It's a nasty one for Casambre, but his eyes on the ball. He has kicked him in the face, and the referee's deemed it worthy of a red card. So Kim Min-jun, who started every game, he was one of only 2 players that survived from that first game. He's been sent off, and the Koreans are down to 10 men, and Casambre is getting a bit of treatment. Well, maybe things are going back in Kaya's favour. Got PHI Baleda warming up just in case Casambre is unable to continue. It was a nasty one from Min-jun. It was a high foot, caught him on the side of the face. And the referee had no hesitation, Omar Al-Yakubi from Oman, to produce the red card. Well, let's hope Casambre's okay to continue. He'll get a little bit more treatment off the pitch. Hong Myung-bo will need to just reorganise slightly. It is a midfielder that's gone off. He was playing 5 in midfield, so he'll just stretch the midfield out a little with Hinterseer, who was already playing as the lone striker up front. Now, what can Kaya do with a man advantage? They had a man sent off in their first game, of course, and had to play nearly 45 minutes with 10 men. Now the roles reversed. They're playing against the 10. Here is the man who was sent off, Rota. Now Bedik. Mitchell. And the breakup. It's a wasted ball. It wasn't really aimed towards anybody. Fuji's over on that side, but it was a defender's ball all day long, and that's probably one of Kaya's problems. Just some poor decision making at times in terms of passing. They've shown if they keep the ball on the deck and play through defenders, they can actually cause some problems. Casambre's back on, by the way. Oh, he isn't back on. It's Bedik that's dropped back into the right back position, the left back position rather, just for the moment. Adi Menzi, who scored that goal in the playoff to get his side into this position. Just 18% of the ball for the Philippine side in this first half so far. Ulsan leading by a goal to 0. Deflected shot from Hinterseer hit Bitgaram and deflected in past the helpless Zach Banzen. Hyung Min. Bitgaram. Hinterseer. Now Jae Woo. Yeah, Casambre still getting treatment, as you see. So they're down to 10 themselves at the moment, Kaya. Bitgaram. Hyung Min. Bitgaram. Hinterseer. Rota goes across. Yongwoo. Taken by Banson. Well, Kaya just seemed content to let Ulsan have the ball at the moment. Graham Harvey did say in his pre-match comments that they needed to stop making too many tackles in their own final third and be more about intercepting rather than making needless tackles. Hope that they learned from their mistakes in the previous matches to try and get some points on the board today. Ulsan had 70% of the ball in the first meeting between the two sides, and well, as you saw, they are dominating possession here, 80% at the moment. Cassambra's got a fresh shirt, had a bit of blood on that last one, so with the sway the bandage, he's going to come back on. I'm getting through to half-time, and I'm sure they'll maybe patch him up a bit more or maybe give a stitch if it's needed, but he's back on the field anyway, so Kaya back up to a full complement of 11. Kim Min-jun sent off for Ulsan Hyundai, who lead by a goal to nil. Lucas Hinterseer's shot deflecting in off Bitgara, who is credited with the goal because Hinterseer's shot was going wide. Good play by Fuji. Free kick to Kaya. Cassambra. Mitchell. Rota. Cassambra. Maybe it's time for Kaya to enjoy a little bit of possession now and try and create something if they can find some space that the man down has created in midfield. Rota. So he played in that Korean side under Dick Advocat. He actually assisted the man who guided Korea to that fourth place finish in the World Cup with the national team after he finished playing. Hong Myung-bo. Be the Reds, I remember being the slogan back in 2002. Everybody wearing the red shirt with Be the Reds emblazoned across the front of it as people just came out in their thousands to watch the Korean games. They used to project them onto large screens in the streets and cone off one lane of the highway, and they'd all sit in one lane of the highway watching these huge video screens on the side of the skyscraper buildings in the centre of Seoul. It was a wonderful thing to be a part of, to see a host nation going so far when they were not expected to as well. Beat Italy 1-0 earlier in the competition and then came past Spain in that quarter-final penalty shootout. Hyun Mong-bo actually scored the winning penalty in that shootout. Captain Fantastic, or Captain Korea, if you want to call him. Now in charge of Ulsan Hyundai, trying to guide them to a second successive AFC Champions League title. Here's Carlisle Mitchell for Kaya, who trail by a goal to nil. De Bruyke. Rota. Carlisle, the man from Trinidad and Tobago, still to have a shot on goal. The side from the Philippines. Rota. Casambre. De Bruyke. Played a much deeper role than we've seen him in the previous matches. Dylan De Bruyke. He's almost sitting in front of the back four today in the role that Manasari can play as well. It's just out of reach. It'll be picked up by Yongwoo. Given away again though, Manasari. Casambre. De Bruyke. Everybody back behind the ball for Ulsan. You can see how difficult they're making it for Kaya to try and find some space. Simone Rota. Under pressure from Hinterseer, had to go back to his goalkeeper Banzon. It's not a great clearance either. In Sung. Mitchell in with the challenge. Fuji. Mitchell. Now De Bruyke. No forward movement really. Bedik is a little bit deep. Daniels is isolated at the moment. And that's been part of the problem. They just can't get balls through the defence. Daniels out on this near side. Mitchell. Manasari. Now Daniels. Casambre on the overlap, just trying to take a player with him, but also done a good job again. Not really noticed they're missing a man at the moment. Forward by Rota. Fuji. Menzi. Overlap from Daiso. No pace on the cross. Comfortable for Yongwoo to get the ball away to In Sung. Daiso. Fuji. Manasari. The word Kaya, roughly translated, means we can. And if they're going to use any inspiration for that, to think that they can get back into this game. Daiso just down at the moment. That's why there's a stoppage in play. Because they've got the big reggae influence. You can see the colours on the badge there, red, gold and green. This due to the heavy influence of reggae on the club from the founding members' lives. It was a massive part, and incorporating that reggae culture into the history of the club. So Graham Harvey was asked about that in the interview that he did when he got the job, and said he's fond of a bit of Bob Marley every now and again, and a little bit of UB40 maybe. Not too sure whether he's shown his singing prowess yet to the team. Said red wine was his favourite. Hinterseer's header. Now Casambre. De Bruyke. 2 minutes added time at the end of the first half. It's a game of few chances. 5 shots from Ulsan, 4 on target. No shots yet from Kaya. Can they get a shot in before half-time? Mansari. Casambre. Now Bedic. Nicely done. Casambre was the man on the overlap. Has gone for a corner. I wasn't too sure. I thought that came off Bedic, but obviously flicked off the defender on the way out. The referee was on the spot. So this is a chance now. Rotter and Mitchell forward from the back to try and provide some aerial presence. Needs a good delivery from Daiso. Quite congested in front of Suhuk, the goalkeeper. Daiso just needs to keep it away from the keeper. It's not a bad delivery. Nobody on the end of it in yellow, though. Now Insung will try and break for Ulsan. Cleared out of play, and the referee decides that will be that for the first half. Well, it was an eventful first half. Zach Banzon, the debutant goalkeeper, spilled a couple of shots early on, but it was Bitgaram who claimed the goal. Hinterseer's shot looked to be going wide. It cannoned off Bitgaram and went in. Min Jun was sent off for a high challenge and a boot in the face for Casambre, who they'll need to patch up at half-time. Hinterseer will claim an assist, I'm sure, for his part in the goal, and it's the only shot we've had that has registered in the first half. Work again for Kaya to do. Ulsan halfway towards a 13th consecutive win in the AFC Champions League. Half-time, it's Ulsan Hyundai 1, Kaya FC-Iloilo 0.
5번 교체하는데 3번, 5번.
Welcome back to the Pathum Thani Stadium, or the Leo Stadium as it's affectionately known in these parts. Not too far from the centre of Bangkok. And Ulsan Hyundai 45 minutes away from another victory. Changes here for, or a change for Kaya. Mazanara has come off, and Amita has come on. Changes as well for Ulsan Hyundai. OC Hun, who scored twice in the first game between the two sides, has come on. Myung Jin was the other player that came on as well. So we're number 22 in there somewhere. We'll confirm who's gone off in just a second, but 5 changes, of course, can be made. There is Myung Jin. Had started all 3 games prior to today. Comes off the bench for a 4th appearance. Ulsan Hyundai then getting us underway for the second half. 45 minutes away from a 13th consecutive win in the AFC Champions League. A competition record which they themselves set a few years ago. They've now scored in 14 consecutive matches as well. 30 goals in those 14 games. It's the longest current ongoing scoring record in the competition for the Koreans. Kaya in the yellow. Min Jun was sent off in the first half, don't forget, so Ulsan are down to 10 men. Here's Fuji. So as Manasara Amura was the player that went off. Hinterseer has made way for Si-hun. Confirmation of Abulok Amita coming on for Kaya. Fuji, good ball across, what a chance, oh, he's fired in, great goal. And Kaya are back in this one. It's Bedik, the captain, who scores it. It's a brilliant finish. The chance seemed to have gone when the ball came in. It wasn't turned in the centre. But Bedik was on hand to score a second goal of the competition and a first goal that Ulsan Hyundai have conceded in the group stages. Soo-Huk, the goalkeeper coming in for his debut today, who whistled past him. It was a brilliant ball in from Fuji. Missed by Daiso in the middle, but that is a quality finish from Jovan Bedik. Back across the goalkeeper, and that's a moment to savour for him. Actually born in Iloilo, it's his hometown, nicknamed the football capital of the Philippines. And he's got an important goal here to level things up. 1-1, right at the start of the second half. Well, Graham Harvey said before the game that they'd learn from their mistakes and they hope to get some points on the board. They are playing against 10 men, don't forget, but well, Myung Jae, who didn't prevent the cross from Fuji, and that's the little bit of quality that they needed. First time they've really got in behind the Ulsan defence, and it just shows what damage you can do if you get in behind rather than play everything in front. There's Rotter. They need to make sure that they don't do anything stupid, Kaya. And a bit of a spring in their step at the start of the second half. Young Yun. Taeyeon. Myung Jae. I was about to give you the details of Ulsan's brilliant defensive record in this competition. Kept a clean sheet in their first 4 games back in 2006. They haven't conceded more than 1 goal in any of their last 13 matches. That's only the 8th goal they've conceded in 14 games in this competition. There's Hyung Min. You can hear the shouts from the bench. That's the Kaya coaching staff urging their side now to play high up the field. Can they cause an upset here against the defending champions? Can they halt this 12-match winning run? It's what you have to love about football, the unpredictability of the game. Here come Ulsan again, though. Great chance and a good finish from Bitgaram, who gets his second goal of the match. And Kaya weren't level for very long. Bitgaram, who didn't know too much about the first one as it hit him, he knew plenty about that one. He's been allowed far too much space in the penalty area. He's beaten Banzan with a fine shot. Bitgurum has his second of the match. Rotter couldn't flick the ball away. And that's a nice finish. De Bruyke couldn't get back to mount a challenge. Three players converging. None of them could stop the finish. Good goal. Bitgurum scores his second of the game. And the lead restored for Ulsan Hyundai. In Sung. Just too high. Well, Se-Hun's presence up front has already paid dividends. He was the man causing problems as well, just acting as the decoy. Nobody picked up Bitgurum in the middle for the goal, but well, Se-Hun, who came on at half-time, who'd scored in those, in the match between these two sides, both goals coming in the first half. Elation can disappear pretty quickly in this game. Just going to draw comparisons to two of the games we saw yesterday, with Ratchaburi getting a 0-0 draw against Pohang Steelers. Battling performance by the Thai side, and then Johor Darul Tazim from Malaysia pushing Nagoya Grampus all the way. Nagoya eventually coming out with a 2-1 win, which put them through to the round of 16. Se-Hun took a bit of a tumble there. Three more games to come today. Vital against BG Pattern United in this group, in this stadium, in a few hours' time. Beijing FC against Daegu. Another Korean side in action, and then another Philippine side in action later. United City FC from the Philippines against Kawasaki Frontale from Japan. It's offside against Myungjae. There are two matches left for these sides. Ulsan take on Vital from Vietnam in 3 days' time, while it'll be BG Pattern United for Graham Harvey's team. Four minutes. Kaya were level for. A reminder at what it means to the group. It would put Ulsan onto 12 points. BG Pattern United with 6, Vital with 3, and Kaya would be propping up the group with no points. One more win would be enough for Ulsan to put them through. Another nice ball over the top. This is Daniels. I just wanted one too many touches. He's a little bit wide, Daniels. He's more threatening when he's through the middle. It's cleared away by Jung Yun. There's Daniels again. Sliding challenge. I think the Korean's just been caught in the face as he made that challenge. Myungjae was the man sliding in. Got the gold badge on, of course, to signify the holders of the competition. Menzies. Daniels. Casambre, who has dispensed with a bandage, they managed to do some work on him at half-time, got that boot in the face, what led to Min Jun sending off in the first half. Here's Amita, the half-time substitute. De Bruyker. Daiso coming deep. Fuji raising both arms in the air. Nobody seems to be able to see him at the moment. Forward by Mitchell. Menzies. It was his goal in the playoff after 16 minutes that got Kaya to the group stages in that win over Shanghai Port. That's a good turn. Long range shot wasn't too far away either, just had Suhut keeping an eye on that one from Daiso. That's his quality in midfield. Played for Albirex Nagata in Japan after leaving Tokai University. Been at Kaya just over 12 months now. That would have been a stunning goal had he had a little bit taken off it. Really good effort. Myung-jin. Ulsan have got themselves back in front. They've now managed to slow the pace of the game back down to the way they were controlling it in the first half as well. Hyung-min. Tae-hyun. Daiso. Turning away from Myung-jin, but foul conceded. Yeah, Myung-jin's operating more in a central role, having come on. Bitguruma's just pushed out wide as well, with Sehun just playing as the central striker. So they haven't only got 10 players, of course. Ulsan Hyundai after Kim Min-jun's red card. No one able to challenge for that one in the middle. Sehun brought down by De Bruyker. Hadn't played for Ulsan for a couple of years, OC Hunt, and he got his chance here in the first game between these two sides. It took just 12 minutes to get off the mark. He's got a second goal after 40 minutes. Vako, the Georgian, rounded off the scoring in the first game. No place for him today. He's out suspended, as is Marwin Angeles for Kaya. See if he comes back in the next match. Two shots from Kaya, they've scored from one of them. Here's Myung-jin. Now Tae-hyun. BG Pattern United against Vittel. His second game of the day coming up later. The win for either will keep alive their hopes. Big grand foul by Daniels. Good ball down the line. Myung-jae had a little look up. Sehun's in the middle. Just nudged on his way by Rota. Making sure that he wasn't available for the cross. Good defending. Behind off Mitchell. Myung-jin's corner. Hyung-min. Myung-jae. Ulsan going back and looking to build from deep. So they continue to control all the ball, Ulsan. Possession has dropped. Kaya have had a little bit more of the ball. But even down to 10 men, the Koreans are still stroking the ball around nicely and still looking to press to get a third goal here. Away by Rota. Out wide by Hyung-min. Only made the one change so far, Kaya, bringing on Abilokamita at half-time. Sure, Graham Harvey will use to more of his substitutes in the second half as the tiredness kicks in. Some weary legs out there already in the heat that we're playing in. Ulsan are about to make another change, their third. Kim Tae-hwan, who'd started all 3 games up to this point, coming on. Regular in the group stage last season and in the 2 Club World Cup games. Taehyun. Now Myung-jin. Sehun didn't have quite enough purchase on that to slip it down the line. In-sung is the man that's over on that far side at the moment, having switched sides. Daeso. Menzi. Kamita striding forward. By a long chalk, he's the smallest player on the pitch, Abilokamita. Has come on in all 4 games now. Mitchell. Gets it back from Fuji. Out in Menzi down the line. That's flicked out off the Kayaman. Here comes the change. Jae Woo is going off, and Tae-won coming on to drop in at right back.
Substitution for Ulsan Hyundai FC. Player number 3,
As well as winning the competition last year, Ulsan, they won the AFC Champions League back in 2012. Semi-finals in 2006. Reached the round of 16 on a couple of occasions as well. Good success in this competition. You have to go all the way back to the round of 16 in 2019 to find their last defeat against Urawa Reds. So up to this point, 12 games, 12 wins, 27 goals scored. And that goal they've conceded here was their 6th in their current run. They won every game in the competition last season except for that opening match against FC Tokyo. In-sung did well to keep that one in play. Only Si-hun in the centre. In-sung might not need him. He might go all the way on his own here. Back to Hyung-min. Straight at the goalkeeper. Good save, Banzan. Positioning right for the keeper. Hasn't had too many saves to make in this second half. Now caught him with the instep, so there was more curl on it than there was power from Hyung-min. Three-quarters of the game gone. Ulsan leading by 2-1. 2 goals from Bitgaram. The first after Lucas Hinterseer's shot was deflected in by Bitgaram, who was on the ground at the time, having picked up a knock, and then no doubt about the second one. In between, Jovin Bedik with a really good strike from the narrow angle to beat Suhak in the Ulsan Hyundai goal. It briefly got them level, and they were level for just 4 minutes, that was all. Moving the ball around nicely at the moment. Down the line by Daniels, looking for the run of a metre. It's away by Myung-jae.
Hey, be careful.
Mitchell just got there ahead of his opposing number 19, Si-hun. Here's Rota. Menzi. Simone Rota. Mitchell. Amita. There's 2 players down in the middle. I think the referee might just stop this. In fact, Fuji will just kick the ball out of play. Daniels has taken a knock to the back, it would appear. Jong-yun, the other player down, the central defender. Haven't seen a huge amount in an attacking sense from Daniels tonight. We mentioned how threatening he'd been in the first game between the sides. A couple of shots, particularly late on in the final quarter of an hour or so. Seem to remember him bursting through and one just whistling over the top. There was the goal that put Ulsan back in front. Good finish from Bitgaran, but when the defenders were around him, he got away from Rotter and got the shot in before the three converged on him, to the delight of his coach, Hong Myung-bo. Scored 10 goals for Korea during his playing career, Hong Myung-bo, in 136 appearances. One of the most notable was in the 1994 World Cup, trailing Spain by 2-0 with 5 minutes to go. He popped up and scored one and made one as Korea got themselves a 2-2 draw against Spain. Really was a great performance. Had a glittering career, Hong Myung-bo. Here's In-sung, striding away. Si-hun, the only man in the centre at the moment. Well defended Casambre. Gives away the corner. Well, apart from those couple of early spillages, he's not had two better games, Zach Banson, in the KOR goal on his debut. Still no movement on the KOR bench, but there is on the Ulsan Hyundai bench. Hong Chul, another one of the regular starters over the tournament so far, is about to come on in just a moment. And attack this corner first, though. I see Rotter taking offence to a little nudge in the back from Tae-hyun, and both will be spoken to by the referee. He already had a word with both of them, and the card's out. Well, the referee from Oman still trying to stamp his authority. Yellow card for Rotter, yellow card for Tae-hyun. Those are the only cards we've had so far, apart from the red card a little earlier on. I don't think that's over either. They need to just be careful. They won't want a player sent off themselves, Kaya. Rotter is now marking Si-hun. Si-hun that just missed it. Fuji. Daniels allowed it to run. He tried to flick it on, but Deza was right behind him. He's tried to play that into Daniels. It's gone in behind him, though. Pressure from De Bruyke. Tae-hyun back on defensive duty, back to his goalkeeper, Soo-huk. Daiso just left a foot in. Be a free kick to Ulsan, and a chance for them to make the substitution. Hong Chul, as we say, who'd started all 3 games so far. The last time he came on as a substitute in the AFC Champions League was in the final against Persepolis. Myung-jae is the man that's come off. Chul is on for the final quarter of an hour. Mitchell foul by Si-hun, who took a knock himself. Carlisle Mitchell, the man from Trinidad and Tobago. Adi Menzi. Rota. Daiso. Rota. Mitchell. Give a movement up ahead of him. There wasn't anybody in an attacking position, so just rolled it to Fuji, gets it back again. Allowed to run by Bedic. Amita. Menzi. And for the first time cross, it goes out off Chul for a corner. Jesus Maliza is waiting to come on. After this corner. Mitchell forward, trying to add an aerial presence. What can Daiso do with the delivery? Oh, it's over everybody. Fuji. Taking on In-sung. Goal kick. There's too much on the corner. Giving no chance to anybody in the middle, really. That's chance for the substitution to be made. The man who scored the goal, Jovan Bedic, the captain, is the man coming off, and Jesus Maliza, born in La Paz in Iloilo City. Jesus Maliza. Brilliant goal from Bedic. He's got a memory to take away from this tournament with him, if nothing else. Great finish back across the goalkeeper. Just the second goal that KOR have scored. Had a little bit of quality about it as well. So Maliza's on. Came on just past the hour against Vital. He's got 12 minutes here against Ulsan Hyundai, who are edging ever closer to that 13th consecutive win. Taehyun. Because Ulsan will have an eye on the game a little bit later on. BG Pattern United against Vital. The win for the Thais will take them on to 9 points. Just be 3 points behind Ulsan. The win for Vital puts them on to 6, but that puts Ulsan in a very strong position then, because the other two teams could only get to 12 points, and Ulsan still have to play both Vital and BG Pattern United in their final 2 matches. Pivotal games coming up in this group. Taewon's header. Young Yun. Myung-jin. Well, Mita with a challenge which has been penalised by the referee. So that red card doesn't seem to have hindered Ulsan too much in this match so far. Bin Jun sent off in the first half for that high boot in the face of Kasambre. Straight red card from Omar Al-Yakubi, the referee. (59 to 41% possession at the moment in favour of the Koreans. just saw the number of passes flash up a moment or so ago, considerably more. That's a poor back pass. It's a strange back pass as well, because it's conceded a corner. Oh, Chol putting his defenders under some unnecessary pressure here from the set piece. Rotter and Mitchell will come forward. Last delivery from the corner wasn't great. Could be the substitute Melisa that's come across to take this one. He wasn't on the field for the last corner. He was just waiting to come on. So what can he do from this? It's a better delivery. No one challenged in the middle, though. A free header away from Taekyon. De Bruyke. Rotter. And Mitchell. Menzi. The only time he's really got in behind the Ulsan defence was the cross for the goal from Bedik. Amita. Daiso. Fuji. Now Menzi, maybe a chance to take on Chul this time. Wants to go back to De Bruyke. In-Sung. Another change. Ryo Fuji is the man that's come off, and Eric Giganto, the player coming on. Third appearance for him in the group stages, 2 of them off the bench now. Final throw of the dice, well, not quite a final throw of the dice from Graham Harvey. Still has 2 changes to make, but his options on the bench are limited. As we mentioned, they've only got 7 outfield players among their substitutes. No Angeles today, of course, he's suspended. Goalkeeper's a long way off his line. That's way over the top from Si-Hun. There is Giganto, the substitute. Menzi goes on the overlap. Amita. Allowed to run. Giganto. Oh, it's just in behind. I've just overworked it slightly. That's well read by Mitchell to win it back, though, and keep things alive for Kaya. Menzi. Now he'll try and get to the byline. Si-Hun tracking him back. Put Giganto with him. It's the ball across with his weaker foot, headed away by In-Sung. Tae-Wan. It's a good pacey run forward, this by the substitute. In-Sung's in the middle. Good challenge by Rotter. Words with the assistant referee from Tae-Wan, but looked like a clean challenge from Simone Rotter, and the referee agreed. Here's Amita. Second go for Melisa to play the ball out wide. Amita taking on Hyung-min. Now he's got 2 to contend with. Myung-jin over there as well. Well, he managed to hang on to the ball, and the cross Still delivered. Giganto. Just bundled over by Chol, but ball had already gone safely in the hands of Suhuk. Not much you could do about the goal. Joe Suhuk making his first appearance in the competition. Ulsan are preparing another change. Kim Sung-joon is going to come on. He's going to replace Bitgaram, the man who scored the 2 goals. Here's the first one. Hinterseer's shot was going wide. It's hit Bitgaram while he's on the floor, but no doubt about the second one. Very nice finish beyond Banzan. Bitgaram adds his name to the list of goal scorers for this competition. Kim Sung-joon, who'd started 2 of the 3 games prior to this, makes his way on for the final few moments. .40 goals for Dejan Damjanovic. We get to see him in action tomorrow when PHI take on Port FC. See if he can add to that. Another yellow card. It's for Daniels this time, who's got the captain's armband on after Jovan Bedik's departure. Into the final 2 minutes of the 90. Just 2 minutes plus stoppages to go. Ulsan have been made to work hard for their win today, down to 10 men. Giganto. Now Menzi. Mitchell. Still Kaya pressing. They still feel they can get something from this game. The whistle goes just to relieve the pressure on Ulsan, and they're 3 minutes away from going 6 points clear at the top of the group. BG Pattern United and Vittel, don't forget, playing in the later game today. Melisa tries his luck from distance, spilled by the keeper, and almost at the feet of Daniels. Suhuk just managed to hang on. Great run by the substitute Melisa, very positive Struck it well, it just bounced in front of the goalkeeper. Daniels very nearly got onto that loose ball. Just recovered in time, Suhuk. Banzon to get his side going forward once again. It's Melisa again. Looking to take on Taewon for a second time. Given away by De Bruyke, Sihun. Won back by Melisa, De Bruyke. Amita. No free kick. Foul by Myungjin. Menzi. It's hit the back of Melisa, it's unfortunate. Still pressing. 2 minutes of the 3 added time gone. Swung out wide by Rota. It's De Bruyke. Given away again. That's the last thing they wanted, giving the ball away cheaply and then giving away a free kick.
Substitution for FC-Iloilo, player number 20, Daito Horikoshi, replaced by player number 22, FC-Iloilo.
Gayoso and Arboleda are on, but literally for the last minute. They'll be lucky to get a touch, either of them. All the way through to Zach Banzon. We've played the 3 minutes. He's looking to launch it long, but there is no time. There goes the whistle, and Ulsan Hyundai have held on here for a 13th consecutive AFC Champions League win. They did concede their first goal of the tournament. 2 from Bitgaram, the first when the shot from Luke Hinterseer hit him. The second, a great finish in the second half. In between, Jovan Bedik pulled one back to level things up for Kaya for 4 minutes. Min Jun was sent off in the first half for that high boot on Casambre, but it didn't affect Ulsan too much. You wouldn't have thought they were down to 10 men watching their play, and they have come through. And the defending champions go 6 points clear at the top of the group, and one more win could well be enough to secure their passage through to the knockout stages, joining Nagoya Grampus, who booked their place yesterday. Disappointing for Kaya, they're still pointless, but they've still got 2 games to go, and they're showing plenty of spirit in the competition. Full time here, Ulsan Hyundai 2, Kaya 1.